Now that was a lot of fun. I'm sure you are answering the questions right along with me. Can you guess what type of learner I am? Once you review the results of your VARC assessment, you will notice that some of your students may have multiple learning styles, and that's okay. If a student answered mostly yes to one category or a few, then most likely that is their learning style. For me, I am mostly an oral and kinesthetic learner, but I enjoy visual learning as well. Can you imagine what school would have been like for me if I knew this? I would have remembered my teachers' names for sure. So now you must be wondering, well, what do I do with all of this information? How do I meet all of my students' needs and make sure that everyone's happy? It may sound impossible, but trust me, it really isn't. First, you have to be flexible. Once you have an idea of what your students need, then it's time to be flexible in how they learn. A great way to do this is through Universal Design for Learning, UDL. UDL is a framework on how to engage all students by giving them an equal opportunity to succeed in the way that they are comfortable learning. It's a great way to keep your students motivated. When it comes to UDL, there are 3 principles to consider, and they are 1. Engagement. Look for ways to motivate your students, and you can do that by giving them a voice. The student voice is so important, and it's important to give them opportunities to make their own choices. You can also create opportunities for them to move around the classroom. Learning doesn't have to happen right at a desk. Create different work centers. 2. Representation. Provide information in multiple formats. Try reading directions out loud or show a video. You can also provide hands-on learning opportunities. 3. Action and expression. Provide your students with more than one way to demonstrate what they learned. Let them write a test, or they can give an oral report, maybe participate in a group project. You see, when you combine VARC and UDL, you will see magic happen in front of your eyes. Keep an open mind and redesign your classroom to meet your students where they are at. I mentioned this before. There's a few ways to do this. Have flexible working spaces. Have different areas in your classroom for your VARC learners. It can be a quiet space, a space for group learning, a space for hands-on learning, and so much more. When it comes to assignments, like I mentioned, provide multiple options for them to hand it in. It can be by video, an essay, a comic strip, or even by poetry. Give them plenty of options to show that they understood the lesson that was presented to them, and always provide feedback. Students want to know how well they're doing and if they're on the right track.